Off to run some errands. Please tidy up this place.
So when we face God, you know something. When I think of the love of the Lord.
Spice up your next event with professional lighting. Call 610-5679 and give your audience an experience they'll never forget. Proper stage lighting ensures stage visibility, motivates, and sets the mood of the atmosphere. We provide services for weddings, concerts, parties, dance recitals, and much more. Captivate your audience. Improve your production today. Call Shamax Productions at 610-5679 for quality and professional stage lighting.
Cyber Realty and Development is the leader in providing solutions to the current land crisis in Belize. For homeowners and investors alike, Cyber Realty is offering special deals on half-acre parcels in its new Emery Village development. Enjoy prime land off mile 37 on the George Price Highway at...
Looking good, Mom. Hey guys, I'm off to run some errands. Please tidy up this place.
No!
Wow, how did you guys do it?
We got cleaners.
Cleaners?
You know it, Dad.
Cleaner, it works.
Coming up next on Plus TV, Plus News. Join our news team for half hour of local and national news. Plus News, informative, balanced, accurate, and current.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
In the headlines for tonight's newscast, police investigate 3 separate shootings that left 6 persons injured. PM calls state of emergency a success. Former LIU chairman expresses disappointment following government's decision to halt the LIU work program. And Prime Minister Briceño supports Oscar Mira's decision to press charges against Alberto Agas. These stories and more coming up next in tonight's newscast. Do stay with us.
This newscast is brought to you through the courtesy of Builders Hardware, your home improvement warehouse.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Good evening and welcome to Plus News for today, Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. I am Julian Cruz. 2 persons are left hospitalized following a shooting in Pomona Village on Tuesday night. 25-year-old Orlando Acosta and a 16-year-old minor were at a business establishment when persons riding a motorcycle opened fire in their direction. Both sustained gunshot injuries, however, none proved fatal. So far, police say no motive has been established and believe the pair may not have been the intended targets.
Police are investigating a shooting incident which resulted in the injury of 25-year-old Orlando Acosta and a 16-year-old male minor, which occurred sometime around 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, 2nd June 2026 in Pomona Village. Initial investigation revealed that these two persons were standing outside of a business establishment when they were approached by persons on board two motorcycles. One of the pillion rider of one of the motorcycles is reported to have produced a firearm and fired several shots, resulting in the injury of those persons. A number of video footage have been retrieved and they are being reviewed, as it is believed that they will assist the ongoing investigation.
A Tuesday evening incident has landed 22-year-old Christopher Zetina in the hospital after a firearm reportedly discharged at his residence. Zetina sustained injuries to his stomach. Police have since revealed that he is not a licensed firearm holder and are now assessing whether charges relating to the weapon will follow.
Police are investigating a shooting incident which resulted in the injury of 23-year-old Christopher Zetina, which occurred at around 4:15 p.m. on 2nd June 2026 on St. Joseph Street, Belize City. The investigators reported that they visited the Karahushna Memorial Hospital, having learned that an injured person was at that location. And from speaking to Mr. Zetina, they learned that he was at his residence and he had a firearm in his possession and it accidentally discharged, injuring him. Police officers are following up on that statement to see if it can be corroborated and also to locate the firearm that was used, as Mr. Zetina is not the holder of a license. When it comes to prosecution in relation to possession of an unlicensed firearm, a very important component is for the firearm in question to be tendered into evidence. That is not the position as yet, but we acknowledge that there was an admission on his part that he was at some point in time in possession of a firearm. So we are exploring to see how best to address that situation.
A late-night shooting in Dangriga has left one man hospitalized. Reports are that around 9 p.m. on Tuesday night, Justin Marin had just arrived at a residence when a person inside a vehicle opened fire in his direction. ASP Stacey Smith says the area where the shooting occurred is known to police and has previously been linked to drug activity.
Police are investigating a shooting incident which resulted in the injury of 19-year-old Jason Marin of Dangriga Town, which occurred at around 9 o'clock p.m. in the Rivers Estate area of Dangriga Town. Marin is reported to have been entering a property when an individual who was on board a vehicle stopped and fired several shots, resulted in his injury. No motive has been established, but what I will say is that the property that Mr. Marin was entering is one that has been frequented by police as it relates to anti-drugs and weapons operation.
On the 8th of May 2026, the government of Belize announced that a state of emergency and SOE would be in effect over certain parts of Belize in the district. Despite the SOE, there has been a number of shootings and murders throughout the Belize district. According to the PM, regardless of the recent spike in violence, the SOE is working.
One murder is one too much, and we are always concerned about it. And we've been fighting and doing our very best to be able to keep that as best as possible under control. We had the SOE, I think, has been successful. Most of it has calmed down, but the story is between individuals. And sometimes that's difficult to control. You could put a policeman in every corner, but the minute you turn, somebody, if you want to give trouble, and that's what's happening.
The state of emergency is set to come to an end on the 8th of June unless the government deems it fit to extend the period for another 30 days. More than 500 individuals are now left displaced following the Ministry of Home Affairs' decision to halt the Leadership Intervention Unit, the LIU, work program. That program, which disburses approximately $160,000 every 2 weeks, was designed as a social intervention initiative aimed at lowering violence and reducing criminal affiliation among vulnerable individuals in Belize City through paid work opportunities and educational programs. CEO in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Elton Bennett, explained to the media that the pause is necessary to reassess the program amid accountability concerns. According to CEO Bennett, there were reports that some individuals were collecting pay without actively participating in work assignments. He also pointed to the ongoing state of emergency, noting that some participants have since been incarcerated following its enactment. Today we spoke with former 2023 LIU chairperson Dominique Norales to get her perspective on the ministry's decision to halt the program.
My reaction was disappointment. The program was, never a popular one, not in the public scene, and I think even within political spaces, it wasn't very popular. But I think there was an understanding that it was a necessary part of Belize's crime fighting strategy. I was surprised, in some ways, but also I knew the context in which the program operated, so it wasn't like a huge surprise. Certainly, I was disappointed to hear that it closed down or that it was frozen. But I was even more concerned about the way it was done. It seemed to have been very abrupt, and I think that puts people in more vulnerable positions than they were before the program started. The thing with sort of pulling the mat from under people who were receiving not a lot of money, but money certainly that helps to support them and their families, I think you make them a bit more vulnerable. I think there was a better way to do it, right? Like if you wanted to close the program, that's the prerogative of the government, right? What data do you have to back that up? What transitions are you going to create for these people? That because 500 people are quite a bit of people, right? It's not a small amount of people who have children and dependents attached to them. And so the impact, I think, is yet to be seen. People are saying, oh, well, major crimes in Belize City will increase. That is a possibility, but I don't think it is the only consideration we have to have. LIU was a program for people who were vulnerable to becoming engaged in gang activity and gang affiliation. Yes, there were people on the program, obviously, who were who were attached in some way, shape, or form to a formal gang organization, but there were many people on the program who brought their children, who brought family members, who they just wanted to get an opportunity, a shot at engaging within a social protection program that was catered to people from a certain demographic. And so the challenges, I think, are yet to be seen. When you remove hundreds of thousands of dollars from a very small geographic area, that is certainly going to have a complex network of issues coming from that.
While acknowledging that the program was not perfect, Norales maintained that it was necessary. She noted that although the program was never intended to become a form of full-time employment, the sudden pause has left many participants without a source of income. She believes that greater consideration and empathy should be shown toward those affected as the government determines the future of the program.
There was always concern about people's commitment to the program, and so the program is envisioned with sanctions. So when you don't work, and if there's no evidence of work, you don't pay. When you come in conflict with the law, when you're engaged with the LIU program, you are suspended or completely removed from the program. We had to make dramatic improvements to how the work program worked, providing tools, providing vests, providing more oversight from our side. So yeah, there has always been challenges with the program. That doesn't negate the fact that the program, I think, was a necessary one. The program didn't start off, I think, with any monitoring evaluation framework, for example, problematic. And so we were doing activities from the start, and it wasn't being monitored and evaluated outside of the auditing of the program, which the ministry led on. So yes, of course, there were problems, but not problems that I think were insurmountable and unable to be fixed with more coordination and commitment from all parties involved. And there has to be some sort of direct campaign, I think, on the ground outside of the policing, as the policing is always necessary. Like we have police for a reason, and there are many units within the police department that aren't necessarily suppression units, one or two of them. And so we have to utilize those spaces a bit more, be more coordinated with our partners. The work can be done. We just have to collaborate a bit better, and systems need to be created to support these mechanisms. It can't be an on-the-fly decision that we say, oh, we'll give LIU back its $5 million, and we continue. No, we have to improve the systems and make sure that it is really serving, and have this monitoring evaluation situation fixed once and for all. I want the public to understand that, everything that happens, no matter where it happens within Belize's 8,867 square miles, it impacts all of us. And we have to practice a bit more empathy and ensure that we practice a bit more in-depth reading and in-depth assessment of the issues that face our people across the country. It is a difficult task. Of course, crime and violence is a very complex task to handle and to look at, but it is not impossible. We have best case scenarios to look at from our Caribbean brothers and sisters in particular. We have to just coordinate a bit better, and we have to be a bit more empathetic, I think.
The Prime Minister also commented on the halting of the Leadership Intervention Unit work program. Under the program, approximately $160,000 were being distributed bi-weekly to participants as an incentive to suppress gang violence. The Prime Minister says that the money saved from the stopping of the work program will be directed to other initiatives.
They would be informed that we're going to put it to an end. As you all know, this was never an employment agency. LIU was simply to hold you for about 3 months and then say, okay, for you to go elsewhere. Listen, we're looking at almost $18 million. That's a lot of money, and that we can use elsewhere. We can have sports programs, we have after-school programs, we could keep these kids in school so that they don't go down that route. I think there's better use for it. Mind you, and I want to repeat again, there are certain programs from the LIU, the intervention and different programs. We want to keep that, but the issue where you're just paying these guys, there's work everywhere you want to. You might not get to work that you want, but you can get a job, and then you work your way up, as the opportunities arise.
The Prime Minister is calling the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry's fuel demands embarrassing. On the 27th of May, the BCCI wrote to the Prime Minister, urging him to implement a temporary tax cut on fuel to ease the financial pinch at the pump for Belizeans. The Chamber also urged government to include temporary reductions in applicable fuel excise duties. Today, the Prime Minister responded to the Chamber's demands.
What do you say to the Chamber in relation to their fuel request?
Let me just answer your question. I don't really, it's embarrassing. Listen, if you collect $100 in taxes and you have environmental tax, you have the GST, and you have the excise and the import tax, it's still $100. it doesn't matter where you take it off. You could take it off for environmental tax or the import tax or the excise tax. It's still removing money from the whole amount that you're doing, and that's what we're doing. So it's embarrassing sometimes to read such proclamations from the chamber.
Dean Vaccaro charged in fatal Gardenia village shooting and other crime-related stories coming up right after this break.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad in the month of June. Visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie Power Tools, Charbroil Barbecue Grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's. Benny's, Benny's.
Belize Electricity Limited is pleased to announce the holding of its 2025 annual general meeting at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize City, Belize, at 3:00 p.m. on Thursday, June 18, 2026. For registration purposes, shareholders are advised to bring along a valid identification such as a social security card. Shareholders who are unable to attend may choose, and we encourage you to exercise this right, to appoint your proxy, or you can simply appoint the company's executive chairman or the corporate secretary as your proxy to represent you at the AGM. Proxy forms can be submitted at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway or via email at shares@bel.com.bz no later than 5:00 p.m. on June 16, 2026. For more information or assistance, contact BEL's Securities Officer at 501-227-0954, extension 1512.
In Belmopan, then I used to go do my NHI in Belize. Then I came back home in Palmer, and when I found out that NHI was here, I said, right, that's the perfect thing for me. So I don't have to travel, it's very affordable. That's the main point. And you don't have to wait too long. Sometimes you go to hospital, you have to go from the morning, whole day there. So, but you come to the NHI at your clinic, you have access for doctors, you do your blood tests, urine tests, everything. I mean, it's very, very affordable. So if they not take the opportunity, they don't want nothing. The doctors, the nurses, oh my, they are so, you could question them. They give you answer to everything, and well, I see good result. And I have no complaint with the NHI itself. No complaint.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
A shooting that police believe stemmed from tensions surrounding a motorcycle has left one teenager dead and another hospitalized. That shooting occurred on Sunday, May 31, when 15-year-old Rakeem Armstrong and 18-year-old Justin Young were socializing on an unnamed street in Gardenia Village when an armed man approached them and opened fire. Both Armstrong and Young sustained gunshot injuries and were rushed to the KHMH for treatment. Armstrong later succumbed to his injuries while Young remains hospitalized. Police have since arrested and charged 34-year-old Dean Vaccaro in connection with that shooting.
As a result of the ongoing investigation into the shooting incident, which resulted in the murder of 15-year-old Rakeem Armstrong and the shooting injury of 18-year-old Justin Young, police have formally arrested and charged 34-year-old Dean Vaccaro of Sand Hill Village for the crimes of murder, attempted murder, use of deadly means of harm, and dangerous harm.
5 individuals are facing firearm-related charges after a weapon and ammunition were discovered during an operation in Unitedville. Charged are Calvin Garcia, Sidney Forbes, Kareem Garcia, Bernadine Myers, and Kevin Trapp. ASP Smith says personnel attached to the Special Patrol Unit made the discovery during operations in the area.
As a consequence of an operation carried out by Special Patrol Unit personnel on 2nd June 2020 at a residence in Unitedville, Cayo District, 5 persons, namely Calvin Garcia, Sidney Forbes, Kareem Garcia, Bernadine Myers, and Kevin Trapp, were jointly charged for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license and kept ammunition without a gun license. These charges follows the discovery of a .22 pistol containing 5 live rounds of .22 caliber ammunition.
A 22-year-old Punta Gorda resident is facing charges after police found him with an unlicensed firearm. Roseanne Virus was arrested and charged after an officer discovered a 9mm pistol during an anti-crime operation. ASP Stacey Smith told us more.
Punta Gorda police have formally arrested and charged 23-year-old Roseanne Virus of Punta Gorda Town for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license and kept ammunition without a gun license. The arresting officer reported that he was on anti-crime operation within that municipality at around 1:25 a.m. when his attention was drawn to 2 male persons who were on board a motorcycle. Upon that officer seeking to approach the male persons, the motorcycle sped off and a pursuit ensued. During the course of the pursuit, Virus fell from the cycle and attempted to flee. However, he was apprehended and a search of a backpack that was in his possession resulted in the discovery of a 9mm pistol, which contained a magazine with 18 live rounds of 9mm ammunition.
An alleged firearm incident in Mascal Village has resulted in charges for 45-year-old Vigil Vasquez. According to police, a report of the incident was made on May 31 by a male passenger who said that after entering a vehicle driven by Vasquez, he pulled out a firearm and pointed it at him. Police say that both Vasquez and the weapon have since been apprehended.
Police have formally arrested and charged 45-year-old Vigil Vasquez of Mascal Village for the crime of aggravated assault and kept firearm without a gun license. This arrest follows a report made by a male person who stated that on 31st May 2026, he boarded a vehicle that was being driven by Vasquez, and whilst inside that vehicle, he observed a firearm and asked to be allowed to exit. The Mr. Vasquez is reported to have retrieved the firearm and pointed it at the male person. However, the male person managed to make good his escape. As a consequence of this report, Mr. Vasquez was apprehended and a .40 caliber pistol was seized.
Prime Minister John Briceño was asked to comment on the decision by Oscar Mira to pursue legal action against Alberto August under Belize's Cyberbullying Act. August was charged with cyberbullying after the weekend and detained at the San Ignacio police station for approximately 28 hours. The charge stemmed from a Facebook post made in the aftermath of the murder of Dr. Bonilla. In the post, August reworded comments previously made by the Minister of Home Affairs following the February murder of Belmopan resident Zamar Alvarez. The post quickly drew the attention of Mira, who subsequently filed a complaint leading to August's arrest and detention. Today, the Prime Minister was asked to comment on the matter. Briceño stated that Mira had every right as a citizen to press charges against August.
I think that Oscar Mira also is a citizen. And if he feels that somebody is slandering him, he has every right to go and make a report. And so he made a report, which is his constitutional right. And then the police picked up Mr. August. I don't know the entire details. And he got bail on Sunday.
While the Prime Minister defended Mira's decision to press charges against August, when asked if he would do the same, he said no.
Alberto August makes posts about you every single day. Have you ever thought about bringing cyberbullying charges against him?
Alberto August wouldn't take up time of my efforts in dealing with him. He can say whatever the hell he wants and it doesn't bother me a bit.
So is Mr. Oscar Mira thin-skinned to be a politician?
No, absolutely not. We are all different. I mean, we are all different. And sometimes we do need to take a stance. Maybe I should consider, taking out lawsuits against Alberto August. Or maybe I should have all PUPs to take out lawsuits for him. So maybe can spend a lot of time.
But lawsuits, PM, send the police after them, make them deprive them of their freedom.
It's not a lawsuit. He made a report. Exactly. And then the police brings them in and they do an investigation, as you know. And the police can hold you up to 48 hours before the charge. It's just so happened that it happened in the weekend. And I think they couldn't get somebody they couldn't finish the charges weren't finished, I think, until Sunday. And then they were released.
Alberto August's Facebook post has been at the center of controversy over the past few days. Following the murder of Dr. Bonilla, August reworded comments previously made by the Minister of Home Affairs following the February murder of Belmopan resident Zamar Alvarez. While the Minister of Home Affairs viewed it as a cyberbullying offense, the Cyberbullying Act was first introduced to protect individuals online who were being harassed, intimidated, or humiliated. Was the law misinterpreted by the Minister of Police to punish Alberto August? The Prime Minister doesn't think so.
Don't you feel that we're going down a slippery slope, setting a very ugly precedent to be using cybercrime legislation intended for other things than politicians coming after people for criticism and satire?
No, I don't think that's true. You think what Alberto August does is satire?
Well, if you're an English major,
let's get that straight. Let's
say Mira said that.
Quoted. He had it in quotes.
He said, so if I say I'm going to say this in the Prime Minister's voice, it doesn't mean the Prime Minister said it, sir.
The thing is that what Alberto August did is disgusting. To take up an opportunity when a family is grieving and to imply or quote whatever it is that he did of what the minister said. And the minister felt aggrieved because he knows this family. He is friends with the family. As he explained to me, the doctor was good friends with his brother. They went to school together. One did engineering and one did medicine. And so for him not to use this for political gain, I think it's despicable on his part. So I think Oscar Mira every right to be able to make a report against him under the cyberbullying law.
The Prime Minister says he doesn't agree with the court's Halakte ruling. More on that after this break.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower beliefs.
The biggest tournament requires the ultimate streaming experience with NextGen TV. Win with NextGen. Pay your bill or sign up for a NextGen bundle plan for a chance to win a 43, 55, or up to 65-inch smart TV bundle, a brand new soundbar, and many more prizes. Get ready to witness football history being made with NextGen. Not a NextGen TV subscriber yet? Contact us to subscribe today. NextGen TV, your stadium at home.
Manholes play a critical role in keeping our sewage and drainage systems functioning properly. They allow our maintenance team to inspect, clean, and clear blockages. When covers are missing or compromised, the entire system and the public are placed at risk. Stealing or damaging manhole covers is a criminal offense and creates dangerous conditions on our streets and sidewalks. Motorists and drivers are reminded that it is an offense to park or drive on sidewalks. The weight of vehicles, large or small, can crack and dislodge manhole covers. In an ongoing effort to protect lives, property, and public infrastructure across Belize City, your Belize City Council continues its citywide manhole cover replacement program. Since the launch of this initiative, thousands of damaged or missing manhole covers have been replaced, improving safety, accessibility, and the overall appearance of our streets and sidewalks. Despite these strides, manhole covers continue to be stolen or damaged, creating serious risks for pedestrians and motorists, including severe injuries, traffic incidents, and damage to personal property. If you see a manhole cover that is broken, missing, or unsafe, report it immediately. Take a photo and share the location with us via WhatsApp at 673-9055 or by calling 227-2308. Remember, maintaining manhole covers requires a shared responsibility. Together, we can prevent accidents, protect public infrastructure, and keep Belize City safe for everyone. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Cyber Realty and Development is the leader in providing solutions to the current land crisis in Belize. For homeowners and investors alike, Cyber Realty is offering special deals on half-acre parcels in its new Emery Village development. Enjoy prime land off mile 37 on the George Price Highway at an unbeatable price. All you need is the initial down payment of $275 Belize dollars. Take advantage and reserve your half-acre home sites today. Emery Village. Join the community. Invest in your future.
Make light work lighter and quicker with switch technology from Axi Power Tools. Axi Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axi line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axi Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
The Maya village of Halakte has secured a major legal victory after the Court of Appeal upheld a High Court ruling affirming the community's constitutional rights to its customary lands in southern Belize. In a statement issued on Monday, the Toledo Alcaldes Association, Maya Leaders Alliance, Julian Trust Society, and the village of Halakte welcomed the May 22 decision, which dismissed the government of Belize's appeal in a long-running land rights dispute. The case stems from government actions in 2013 and 2015 when portions of Halakte's communal lands were cleared for road expansion, a Baja checkpoint, and related infrastructure projects. Maya leaders argued that the government failed to follow the legal procedures required for the acquisition of land and did not provide compensation despite court rulings recognizing Maya customary land rights. In its judgment, the Court of Appeal found that the government acted unlawfully when it acquired 31.36 acres of Halakte's ancestral lands without consent or compensation. The court also upheld a damages award for more than $6.3 million to the village. According to the PM, the government does not agree with the ruling and will try their best to overturn it at the CCJ.
We believe it's a wrong ruling. We believe that the Chief Justice or the judges, we don't agree with it, and I'd say that respectfully. And certainly we will appeal, and we believe that we can overturn that ruling at the CCJ.
Because if you let that hold, then it's going to have
answer that question.
It's going to have some significant impact on what's happening in the south right now.
Okay. Yes.
The Maya community has described the ruling as a landmark decision that reinforces the constitutional protections afforded to Maya customary land tenure and strengthens the rights of indigenous communities to safeguard their ancestral territories. Belize is hosting the two-day regional workshop on strengthening digital resilience, bringing together policymakers, technical experts, and international partners to discuss strategies for protecting critical government data and ensuring the continuity of public services across the Caribbean. The workshop being held on June 2nd and 3rd at the Grand Resort and Residences in Belize City includes participation from the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC, and the European Union, and representatives from across the region. Discussions on the opening day focus on strengthening digital infrastructure, data protection measures, and governance frameworks needed to safeguard national systems from disruptions, particularly in disaster-prone Caribbean nations. A key topic was the data embassy model, which allows countries to securely store encrypted government data in partner states while retaining full sovereignty over the information. Participants examined how the model could enhance government continuity and protect sensitive data during crises. The workshop concludes with a high-level policy dialogue involving regional leaders and senior government officials. Participants are also expected to review and sign the Declaration of Belize City, a regional commitment aimed at advancing digital resilience and data sovereignty across the Caribbean. Government officials said the event highlights Belize's growing role in promoting digital transformation and resilience initiatives throughout the region. And that brings us to the end of our newscast for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into Plus News. And be sure to join us right back here again tomorrow evening when we bring you all the latest happenings around the country. Until then, do have a safe evening. Blessings to all. See you tomorrow.